Okay, today exciting episode. We are going to talk about definitively how to be a legal document preparer. Legal Doc Prep 101, sometimes called a legal document assistant, sometimes called a freelance paralegal or a non-attorney service, but we're going to talk about starting a legal document preparation business. What you need to know, what states you can do this in, what states you need special certification in, what are the most popular document preparation services to offer, and how much money to be made and who this is a good fit for. So, by the way, my name is Mark. I own Noble Notary Legal Document Preparers. We are a rather prominent document preparation company in the state of Florida. We're probably not the biggest and the best, but we make a lot of money doing this, and we also educate people on how to start their own business, which I'll talk a little bit about that too as we go through this. Now, you might be wondering, if you watch the other episodes, how many Hawaiian shirts does this guy have? And the answer is all of them. I own all of them. As a child of the 80s, I was a big fan of Magnum PI, and so now I've grown up to be Magnum PI. All right. Anyway, enough about me. Let's talk about legal document preparation. So, legal document preparation is using ready-made templates and offering what we call non-attorney services. There's a few things that you need to know about this. It's a very lucrative business model. If you watched our channel, I don't talk much about that. We do not only legal docs, but we also are what's called a notary signing service, meaning we staff notaries. I would say, while we do staff notaries for general notary stuff as well as for real estate transactions for title companies, I would say fully 50% of the notary staffing that goes on is actually internal, meaning we are hiring them to go notarize documents that we've prepared internally. So almost like a title company who would directly hire a notary rather than a third-party signing service. So we're using our signing service to benefit our document preparation business. Pretty smart to think about it. All right, so the money. Like I said, I started to say I don't talk much about the money for several reasons. One, earnings disclaimers, results not typical, results may vary. You can learn what I do and you can do exactly what I do, and you should by all means make what we make, which is in excess of $30,000 a month if we're talking about just the document preparation alone. When we start factoring in some of the other notary services that we offer for across the country, it goes upwards of that. So, and like I said, I'm probably just a small fish in a big pond per se. I know there is a gentleman across the United States over on the other side, Nevada, named Daniel Waifi, who makes 70, 80 grand a month doing this. Again, very lucrative. He, from talking with him, it looks like he actually has a team of people that are doing, he has a team of document preparers where we are pulling this with two of us, maybe two and a half. So I am training a couple of independent paralegals to do some stuff for us per diem, the same way we hire notaries per diem. So we are in the process of expanding, but where we're at right now with just two document preparers, kind of cranking out orders day in, day out, we're basically north of $30,000 a month. But a lot of that has to do with refining your offer, offering the right service to the customer, and of course marketing that, having kind of that secret sauce for marketing, which I'm going to talk a little bit about that as well. So with that, the other reason I don't talk much about the money is, well, you got family, you've got in-laws, you've got that friend from 25 years ago in high school that never likes or comments on your Facebook stuff, but then hits you up for money because they figure out you might be doing pretty well for yourself. So we like to not talk much about that, just to avoid those kinds of things. But anyway, I digress. So, factors that we need to consider are your location and unauthorized practice of law. And we also want to talk about who this might be an ideal fit for. Visas and green card applications. Those would be the most common things that you would see. The forms and the instructions for doing this are on the USCIS website, okay? You can get training for this through the NNA. Now, in my legal document preparation course, which I'll talk more about in a little bit, we do go over these two, but I don't go into deep dives like I do on a lot of the other stuff. simply because I have not done a lot of them and I don't like doing them. But I will tell you about immigration and bankruptcy, a couple of things. There is actually software that you can use or rent that makes doing those a lot easier if they are the ones that you choose to niche down into. So with bankruptcy, or with immigration, excuse me, there are, these are states that you can absolutely do it in, and these are states you absolutely can't do it in. Everything else, got to do your own research. Don't ask me if you can do it in Rhode Island or not. I don't know. I didn't look. Okay, but so for immigration, you can absolutely do it in, specifically can do it in Arizona, Minnesota, Washington, Michigan, Georgia, California. Imagine that, Georgia. Florida, Nevada, New York, Minnesota, Illinois, Oklahoma, Utah, Maryland, and South Carolina. Another one. That one shocks me, South Carolina. I got it on my poop list. So you cannot do those in Tennessee, Oregon, Colorado, or North Carolina. You can't do immigration services in those states. Any one of them that didn't make this list, they didn't specifically approve or deny it, go do your own research on those. You can get training for that through the NNA as well, which is the National Notary Association. And so bankruptcy, theoretically with bankruptcy, you could do this in all 50 states because bankruptcy is a function of federal law, and the federal law does in fact allow for non-attorney bankruptcy services, okay? So technically it shouldn't be restricted by your state. I'm going to suggest for bankruptcy that you get a book. I will put the links in the description. You go get a book by Victoria Ring called How to Be a Virtual Bankruptcy Assistant, okay? Great book. Tells you everything you need to know about it. Again, you get those 2 trainings and you're not making enough money, you may have a marketing issue, you may want to circle back and get our legal doc course so you can see how we've blown this thing up. All right, so let's go to estate planning. Estate planning is going to be documents like wills and powers of attorney, advance directives, trusts, those kinds of things. There's a lot of boilerplate type documents available. There's some know-how, there's some things you're going to want to know about doing those. We cover those in our training course. They're the documents, you can get those at sites like U.S. Legal Forms. Evictions. Evictions are exactly what they sound like. The reason I prefer things like estate documents or even apostille services is that they're kind of one and done, where with evictions there's a process involved, meaning there's several steps involved in the process to get an eviction, especially if it's contested. So it makes it less than ideal service to offer in my mind, even though I've done them and I still do them. I definitely charge more than other document preparation services because I don't want to do it. Okay, LLC formation. Now where I have these orange dots here, we have created mini courses that are under $50 if you just want to learn that particular niche and offer that for under $50. I have put in orange those, which are LLC. I should state this LLC course is Florida specific. It is very specific to Florida and the SunBiz process. Apostille. So an apostille, LLC is just exactly what it sounds like. You're just starting up somebody, you're forming somebody's LLC, you're going to the IRS and getting them an EIN number, filling out an SS4 form, that kind of thing. So apostilles, which is legalization of documents, it's sending them in to the Secretary of State. It's making sure maybe they're properly notarized, or it's even procuring them. It's a very easy service to offer, and it's very lucrative. Sometimes you're literally just facilitating a transaction. I'll give you a recent instance. We had a lady who is in Texas but had a divorce decree in Florida in the Miami-Dade courts, wanted that apostille to have it for her records for overseas job applications. So what did we do? Well, I simply got on the Clerk of Court's website for Miami-Dade, ordered a certified copy of that divorce decree, had it sent to me, turned around and sent it to my courier in Tallahassee, who then turned around and mailed it to her in Texas, and I charged her several $100s to do that. It was only a few minutes worth of work. That's an example of an apostille facilitator. Credit repair and credit disputes, we have a mini course for that as well. You can do anything from full service credit repair where you're continually monitoring their service, or you can just do dispute letters, meaning that, hey, I'm just going to charge you a one-off fee to mail this letter in that is disputing a specific erroneous report on somebody's credit. So several different ways you can play that game. And again, there's also software that you can use, CRM software, that can kind of set up a lot of automation for doing credit repair clients. Deeds. Big popular one here in Florida are what's called a life estate deed or a ladybird deed. In some states like Nevada and some others, they have what are known as transfer on death deeds, or TODs, that help people to assign their house to an heir without having to go through a probate process. So it's a really popular item, and it's a really easy sell, and it's really, really lucrative for us. Divorces come in several different stages. There is simplified, which is where everybody's kind of in agreement, and it's just a paperwork process. There's contested and uncontested divorce petitions. There's divorces with children, with property. The more complex, the more you charge. For something that was a divorce with property or with children, it's going to require quite a bit of paperwork. We're going to start our service at over $500 for that. I had one just the other day that he actually booked on my calendar for a mobile notary for a divorce. And then he came to me and goes, well, no, I need the documents prepared. And I said, well, I'm sorry, but the $100 that you paid is for a mobile notary to come out and stamp court documents. It's not to prep them. That would take 2 hours to do that. And this is an example of a divorce packet, as you can see, and that would take 2 hours. And there's multiple notarizations that would be done in there as well. You can't do that for $150. Sorry, guys, that's a $500-600. $500 deal if you come to my office. Is $600 plus if I'm coming out to you. So, but just an example. So let's start with who this might be an ideal fit for. Well, a document preparation business would definitely be a good fit for an attorney. It would be a good fit for a paralegal who wants to go, say, freelance, basically be a freelance or an independent paralegal would be a good fit for. Might be a good fit for a seasoned real estate agent and a retired attorney, and also a good fit for somebody who I would say is a seasoned notary. Definitely not a new notary. So if you're a new notary and you're trying to figure out like the mobile notary zone and the loan signing hustle, this is going to be probably too complex for you. But if you're a seasoned notary, you already offer multi-services, like you've dabbled maybe in credit repair, or you've dabbled in tax preparation as well, or are doing apostilles or considering that, then this might be something that you can fit. So that's one factor determining the ideal. The other is what we call unauthorized practice of law, or UPL. Well, UPL varies state to state. The short version of unauthorized practice of law is do not give legal advice. You are not an attorney, so you want to openly display on your websites or any marketing material, or when you have a conversation with somebody, that I am not an attorney, I do not offer legal advice. Something to that effect, okay? So you cannot be offering legal advice. You can produce documents as basically as a function of a clerical service, and you can give people facts, things that are known facts, but you cannot be offering legal advice to people. So now that's a general rule, but as we get state specific, it gets a little bit more nuanced. For example, in the state of Georgia, just notarizing a deed is unauthorized practice of law if it is not supervised by an attorney or done by an attorney. So you can see where that could be really complicated. Another thing in Georgia, for example, are doing credit repair or credit dispute letters as part of your service. You cannot do that in Georgia unless you have an MLS license as a realtor, a lender, or you're an attorney. So those are some other factors. Now, there are states that you can do certain documents in, but you can't do other documents in. So we're going to go ahead and break that down, and I'm going to talk a little bit about what I can do for you to help you in your journey as being a legal document preparer as well. So here we go. So those are our factors. So right here in purple, I have states that are pretty much good to go for just about anything. But as I go through this, I'll elaborate on them. Now, we've got Florida, Nevada, Louisiana, Illinois, Tennessee, Washington, Oregon, and Colorado. Those ones they're pretty good to go, but as we break down like the immigration and the bankruptcy and stuff, I'm going to clarify that a little better. So here are some of the documents that, actually before I go into the documents, let's talk about certification. So California and Arizona, you need what is known as an ABA, American Bar Association certification, meaning you basically need a paralegal certification of sort. In California, you would go right to a site or a organization called CALDA, the California Association of Legal Document Preparers. Get your training and credentialing through them. That's what you would need. Now, if you get your training and credentialing and you launch your business and you're still not making money, circle back to us. Check us out at marksias-mykajabi.com. Get our legal document preparation course, and I'll show you how to take what you now are certified to do and make some actual real money with it. But I digress. So, and then the same thing in Arizona, you basically on more or less on some level need some sort of paralegal type certification. And then the other ones, near as I can tell, not really much of anything. But again, let's go through this. So common document preparation type of services. These are common services that are offered. Immigration forms, bankruptcy, estate planning forms, evictions, LLC formation, apostilles, credit repair or credit dispute letters, sending dispute letters in deeds, as well as divorce documents and adoption documents. Now, as a document preparation service, I have done all of these at one point in time. I definitely don't do all of these anymore at all because I've refined my offer. You really only need to find a couple good niche services that you really like to do. For example, the gentleman I just mentioned, Daniel Wifey, he is really big on the divorce and annulment scene. That's where he's pulling his 80 grand a month, is in that scene. Where we are doing it a lot in the estate and the deed area and the apostilles. So we, like I said, at one time we've done them all, but at this point I absolutely do not do immigration or bankruptcy anymore. The reason is I just don't like doing them. But let's talk about these. So immigration, your most common thing that you would see with immigration is of that. Adoptions, those paperworks for divorce and adoptions, in Florida, you can get those at clerk of court websites and you can get them at the Supreme Court websites. The bankruptcy forms, you can get those at there's federal websites, you can get those for free. Now let's talk about eviction documents. Most of those you can get at your local clerk of court because it's filed with the local clerk. So let's talk about, we've talked about the states, we've talked about the different trainings, and we've talked about the immigration and bankruptcy. So let me talk about what we can do for you. Obviously, I said we've got many courses that are under $50 that you can just learn these ones, but we do have a $497 course that is how to start a legal document preparation business, and it covers initially the notary aspect, and it covers an explanation of these different things. These two we don't go into deep detail on. The rest of the stuff we go into exquisite detail. Plus, we show exactly how we have been able to market this to the gold mine level that it is. We show you the secret sauce that is involved. I should add that price subject to change at $497. That's a fire sale. We do have a full course for notaries that is our Prosperity Academy, and we've contemplated just merging them into one course that meets in the middle somewhere around the $800-900 mark. So whenever that happens, it happens, and that'll be the price. It's still worth it. When I first got into this, we took training through FADLP, Florida Association of Legal Document Preparers. They do have a la carte courses. We spent over $1,000 in training. It was okay. It was very okay training. It's just didactic only, where we've created training that is very interactive with live links, with downloadable files and resources, and with video explainers showing documents in detail and explaining concepts behind those, so as well as where to access all those different documents so that you know what you're doing. And then, of course, we show, which is something that I haven't found anywhere, we show how we marketed through, which has been through a lot of years of trial and error. We've been able to really refine the process and basically craft offers that are very appealing to the public, and they're very rock solid. And this allows our phone to ring every single day and us to get emails every single day for those core offers that we've created. And of course, we share that knowledge with you for currently the low price of $497. And I will put a link in the description for how to do a legal document prepare course, which currently is $497, subject to change, where you can learn this stuff. If you are obviously in those two states, visit them first, get their required training. If you're in any of these states, welcome aboard. Just hit that buy button, baby, and get going. If you're in one of these other states that's questionable, that's not mentioned or not listed, I don't know. You're going to have to do your own research. I can't really do it for everyone. But we are in the process of expanding our own outside of the state of Florida. We've already got our toes in Nevada right now, and we are going to be moving into about 7 other states with one of our refined offers, which means a document service with the notary and witness delivery that we've already price checked and know that it works very well at a price point which gives a high margin for us, and we know it's very high in demand, and so we're going to expand that into 7 other states. I'm not going to tell you those 7 states or that particular service that we're offering because it's proprietary information. However, if you do become a course member, you can book a free call with us, and we'll be happy to strategize with you and even go over and disclose some of these very things that we've done. But that is it. This is the legal doc prep business. This has been fantastic, and it has allowed us to not only do this, but get into the consulting space where we now can consult the marketing methods that we've used and deployed and employed in other business models as well. So that's it for today. I hope you liked it. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments. Check the links for books like Victoria Rings, and for our courses, even our mini courses. I'll have links for those in there should you want to just kind of try one of these out and see if it's a good fit for you. That's it. We'll see you guys on the next one.